Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Goss. I'm the author of the Heavenly Realms series. That would be Empyrean Falling. It's probably the most common book that you guys are aware of. It's the first in the series. And then I also have the second book, Heavenly Realms Grey Aegis, as well as the third book, Heavenly Realms Sturm und Drang, all three of which are published and available for paperback or ebook on Amazon. I'm in the process of getting a cover for the fourth book, which is going to be pretty interesting, kind of a departure from everything. And then I'm in the process of writing and finishing the fifth book, and then once I'm done with that, I'll just have to revise and edit the sixth and seventh book, which are both of those books are already finished. Yes, that's right. Sometimes when you write a series, you write the ending and then you decide to go back and do a side project and then abandon it for 10 years, which is what the fifth book is. But anyways, things are progressing nicely. I have recently got set up with ACX and a narrator off of ACX in order to get the ball rolling on the audiobook. So I anticipate probably by the end of October, the audiobook will be available on Audible. So, and yeah, that's my dog whining. Yeah, I know. Come here. Yeah, nice. Okay. Lily wanted to make an appearance. She might as well anyways, because she's on the back of all of these books. So, you know, I decided to make her a star by using her for all the author pictures, and that's her. And no doubt she hears a cat or a squirrel outside and wants to go get it. So, anyways, I wanted to do a video about pronunciation. Pronunciation of proper names is kind of an issue, and I didn't realize this until I started making the audiobook, that, you know what, I might need to clarify this, because a lot of the names that are used, probably half to two-thirds of the names that are used in the Heavenly Realms series are names that already exist within the current angelic hierarchy and the cosmology of the Judeo-Christian mythos, for lack of a better term, along with some others. I utilize, angelic names of characters, real or otherwise, from the other monotheistic religions, along with other pagan religions, just all sorts of stuff. Most of these are pre-established proper names. However, there are, if you've read Empyrean Falling or any of the Heavenly Realms novels, you probably would notice that there are a fair number of names that have no precedent. That's because I just made them up. And being a lifelong Star Wars fan, the names get pretty weird. So I realized that it would probably be a good idea to make just a quick video where I go through the glossary and I just list off a bunch of the names and how they're pronounced, not just for my narrator, who this video is primarily made for, but for also you, the audience, so that you can kind of hear it in your head the way I imagined it. And sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't, You don't want to deprive the reader of their ownership of your work. As a writer, you want the reader to be able to sort of paint their own picture. But at the same time, you want your message and what you've created to be properly conveyed. You want the truth to influence perception, not perception dictate your reality, So anyways, on page 392 of Empyrean Falling, there is a glossary right there. And it starts with the names of the various angels. So I'm just going to go through here and I'm just going to list off the names and say them. There is a phonetic pronunciation guide in these that might help you, but sometimes that doesn't always work out. So here we go. I'm just going to run down the list And some of these proper names you might agree with or might not. Like I pronounce Azazel, or I pronounce Asmodeus. But I know that there are other people who pronounce Asmodeus as Asmodeus. Like if you watch Kolchak the Night Stalker with Darren McGavin, I think it's McGavin. Kolchak is an awesome series that only ran for one season back in the 70s. It's totally worth watching. And but he pronounces it in that show. They pronounce it Asmodeus. Who knows? Maybe that's correct. I don't know. I pronounce it Asmodeus. You do with the proper names what you want. But when it comes to the names that I created, I wanted to kind of help you guys get the lay of the land so that it sounds right in your head. So here we go. Angels. Abels. Agni. Ulrach Sivad. Apollyon. Ariel. Also sometimes pronounced Ariel. It's fine, whichever. Depends on how much you like The Little Mermaid. Arcadia. Archeal. Asmodeus. Astaroth. Azazel. Azrael. Belial. Bellator. Belphegor. Camiel. Dialius. Deladros. For some of these you can roll the R's. For others it doesn't matter. Personal preference. Elunius, Erodantes, Galith, Giad Althaziel, Gilgamesh, Goldrum, Jehuel, Kakabel, Kedlarn, Kemuel, Kalius, Lantheron, Leithnu, Lingal, Magua, Malthus, Mazarel. That's a hard one. I've noticed a lot of people get Mazarel wrong, and Mazarel is a big character, so you kind of got to get that one right. Maildus, that's another one that people get wrong. They think it's Mealdus or Mealdus, but it's Maildus. Sort of like Reagan. Melfax, Metatron, Nelgleth, Nikolai, Nuriel, Orion, Paladin, Raphael, Raziel, Samuel, Sandalphon, Sariel, Seldax, Shiala, Shiranon, Umbra Tempest, Unoth, Ural, Uriel, Urim, Usiel, Voldoon, Weir, Zodkiel, Zophiel. Archangels: Gabriel, Lucifer, Michael, and also Satan, obviously. Groups: Battle Group Concordia, Cherubim, the Cognoscente. That's an Italian word, I believe, and that probably has some different pronunciations. It doesn't really matter. The Council of Elders, the Death Guard, also known as the Imperial Flames, the 40 Hammers, the 14 Imperial Flames, the Lightning Legion, the Lions, the Pegasus Centaurs, the 7 Serpents, the Temple Guardians, the 3 Thunderbolts, and the 12. The next section is war implements. Just about all of these are going to be proper names that are, or established names of equipment, kit, panoply that already exists. So most of this, it doesn't really matter. Ballista, Barbican, Barboot, Bassinet, Chamfron, Constellation, Curios, Dog Chompers, Dragoons, Dyad, Galguns, Greaves, Hadar, Hadraniel, Half Harness, Lance, Lame Tacit, Line Fighting, Panoply, Pauldron, Pollux, Porcupines, Sabatons, Sunbursts, Sunhats, Switchback, Trebuchet, Vambrus, Virtue, and Use. Pretty simple. That's really more for Adam, my narrator, who does an awesome job. My older brother Nick Goss and I were, he's the author of the Travelers League series and the Fringe Mythology series, Henry Half Moon, and some other stuff that's coming out that's really cool. You should check him out too, especially if you got kids, if you got younger kids who are looking for some fun stuff. Nicholas Goss, I think probably just Nick Goss. But but he and we hang out every Sunday night, and we have this little thing, this little writing group we call the Goslings, and nerds. We're just 12-year-olds forever, you know. And he was listening to the sample chapter that my narrator from ACX gave me for the Audible book, and we were listening to the narrator Adam, and he's got this awesome, like, really sort of front of the mouth, kind of jowly, almost kind of Cockney accent. I don't know quite how to place it. I thought he kind of sounded like a deeper Paul Bettany, but my brother Nick pointed out that he kind of actually really sounds like Alan Rickman. And when he said that, man, it just clicked in my head. Like, it made perfect sense. I was like, my gosh, you're right. He sounds like Alan Rickman. This is awesome. And the dude does a phenomenal job. I mean, he really elevates the work. He brings a gravitas to it that I think probably would not be accomplished, you know, with the standard American accent, which is about what you expect. I mean, that's why a lot of people go with the British accent. It just sounds cool. It adds, you know, a level of class, warranted or otherwise, that we all enjoy. But I'm really excited to see the material from the audiobook come to fruition. And I think we probably can get it done in the next 2 months, maybe. Definitely will be done in time for Christmas, but I think we probably really should be done in time for Halloween. So, not that that's a holiday that you should really celebrate anyways, but well, whatever. Anyways, yeah, I hope that helped you. Feel free to go back and listen to that if you care. I think there are probably about 3 of you who do, including my narrator, who's going to watch this video. So, man, we're really excited about the audiobook, and they're still available on Amazon in paperback, and really happy with them. Really looking forward to getting the cover done for the 4th book and the 5th book. The 4th book should be out hopefully within the next month or so, if all goes according to plan. We'll see. And I'm still in talks with Taurus Necros Publishing to try and get some sort of a special edition going. But we might be able to also get something rolling on a hardback edition through Barnes & Noble's publishing as well. So Amazon might not be the only resource in the near future. But I'll tell you, of course I get a text message while this is going on. By the way, flip phone. Go back to a flip phone, man. Ditch that iPhone. Don't worry about that contact tracing. Stay away from it. Anyways, the special edition should be really cool. We got to get some illustrators squared away, and I have a map that I've drawn out. I've had a map for years. I just failed to put it in the books, and I think that would really help. You can also check out the map and a lot of my illustrations and stuff that I've done as concept art. I'm no artist by any stretch, but a lot of that stuff is available on Instagram, on my Heavenly Realms Instagram thing. And that's worth checking out, because the concept art is sort of like that Ralph McQuarrie concept art for Star Wars. It's like, usually it's not the finished product in totality, but it gives you a really good idea of where the creator's mind was, like where my head was for the longest time. So, but the map is a big one. If I could, there are a couple things that I got to tell young writers. If you're an aspiring writer, and I'm no major success story by any stretch. Nick is a far better success story than I am, but I'll just tell you, I've lived the life of an aspiring novelist and writer for the better part of 20 years now. Actually, it will be 20 years this November. I started Empyrean Falling when I was a junior in high school, so 17. I'm 37 now, so this really has been a series that's been 20 years in the making and going. But there was a 10-year period, 10 years, where I couldn't get published because Amazon wasn't really offering their publishing system and no one wanted to touch my work. And I remember having an argument with someone in 2005 with this very young girl, 18, 19-year-old aspiring novelist, who was just dead set on getting this full novel written and done in 6 months, which is laughable. I mean, it's possible, right? But, I mean, it's possible to do a lot of things. Is it probable? No. You have to understand that writing a novel, especially writing a series, it's a campaign, not a battle. It's a war, not a battle. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, it's long haul. The current book that I'm writing, I had abandoned for the better part of 10 years. And I was not ready to really write that book until about 6 months ago. That book really did have to sit on the shelf for 6 months, for 10 years before I was ready. I was in a place of my own personal development to be able to write it. If you're a novelist, if you're wanting to be a novelist, if you want to be a writer, realize you're not in it to make money. If you make money, great, and you could. And the chances of you making money are better now than they were 5, 10, 20 years ago. But that can't be your objective. There are enough hacks out there. Write because you have something to say. Write because you have a passion. Your passion and your desire to have something to say, to get it out there, to get a message out there, that passion is what's going to carry you through the droughts. That's what's going to keep you writing when you are depressed. That's what's going to keep you writing when you're out of ideas. That drive is what you need. And we already got enough people out there who are just looking to make a buck. So, I mean, you could do that, but you're just going to be one more dork who's just writing hackneyed crap in order to, make a paycheck. And, you can do that, but there's not a whole lot of difference between that and prostitution. And do you really want to be a whore? Maybe this is something you should focus on for art, and just realize that it's a discipline a discipline, dynamic, constantly shifting journey. It is a movement. It is a forward progression. It is Alexander through India. Actually, that might be a bad example because Alexander turned around in India. But just know that it's got to keep going, and you can't expect to get it all done in 6 months or even a year. You have to accept the reality that is before you, and you have to accept the cards that are dealt to you, and don't quit your day job. You have to keep working. You can't just quit and decide you're going to be a writer and you're going to be the next Chekhov. I mean, you might, you could, but what are your odds? And if you're a family man, is that really what you need to be doing? If you're a responsible person, is that really what you need to be doing? So just, be humble about the process and just know that, it's in charge of you as much as you're in charge of it, and it's this weird give and take, and as long as you just keep showing up and keep just doing the work and pursuing the passion of your writing, even if you're doing it in a vacuum, that's fine. Just keep writing and keep realizing over and over again that you have to remind yourself, it'll probably happen eventually. Take the opportunities as they come. Don't sell out. Don't take a deal that seems shady. Don't take a deal that's too good to be true. I've had that happen twice. Don't do that. Stick to your guns. Stay passionate about your work, and just keep writing and be patient. Patience is one of the hardest things in the world to figure out, and I have to constantly remind myself. I have to constantly retrain myself in it every day, and I suck at it. I suck so much at it. It's awful. But writing teaches you patience, because you might have a 10-year drought between not even when you start, but when you abandon a project and when you actually pick it back up and are in a place to finish it. That happens. Welcome to the world of writing. So stick with it, and obviously if you have any questions or comments, post them. I'd love to have a conversation about that. So take care, everyone. God bless. See you later.